Don't think.
Fear is my ally.
The Force will be with you.
We are encouraged to love.
Be mindful of your thoughts.
I will not betray the Republic.
Hey, Your Worship, I'm only trying to help.
Scruffy-looking nerf herder.
I'm not afraid.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
In keeping with the trusty adage, starve a cold, disgust a fever.
So the bot farm that Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy coalition owns, I guess, has been able to push up the critics score by 1 point, and the audience score stays at a solid 14%. Again, critics don't matter, the audience does. Okay, and yet, with the loss of many sources now for Lucasfilm's Acolyte, including Christian Harloff and company, who are absolutely trashing the Acolyte. They've lost somebody else. They've lost, literally, this is unbelievable. They've lost Jon Campea, the biggest butt kisser of Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson on the planet, who went out of his way to scream and yell at fans who were pissed off about The Last Jedi. This guy is now breaking the mold and trying to be evenly honest. What's interesting to me is he's doing what Christian Harloff and company did, which is he's basically saying, kind of people on both sides are being toxic, which, I can only say for myself, if I get called a misogynist, which I can't because I'm a woman, or a phobe or an ist by somebody who is a phobe or an ist over hating The Last Jedi and TFA and all the rest, I'm going to come back hard. And if that makes me toxic, then fuck off. So Jon Campea, in his latest video, which will be in the description so you guys can watch it, went after the Acolyte. And he basically poo-pooed the arguments about story, like the elements of the story, like the Ki-Adi-Mundi affair and the lesbian witches and the twins. Okay. That's part of the story. What he's saying is that the structure is bad, the acting is terrible, and it looks cheap. Gee, you think, John? But that's only the surface, okay? Leslie Headland, as we all know, hates George Lucas, thinks the prequels are misogynist. Wherever the fuck that came from, I don't know. Probably because she doesn't look at quality of women characters. She looks at quantity. And if she doesn't see more bitches' heads in a scene, she gets all flustered and doesn't understand herself. All right. This cunt went out of her way to fuck with George Lucas himself, with the Acolyte. Okay. That's what she did. And just like Rian Johnson, all right, and the vaunted TLJ, which is, look, I want to show you guys a scene. Basically, this scene says it all, where Luke walks up to this, whatever the fuck it's called, and starts milking it for that disgusting green milk. Rey's standing there like a dumbass. Rian Johnson was literally making a comment about George Lucas being a billionaire and milking the Star Wars franchise for billions of dollars. Like, he didn't deserve the money he earned. But when you've got people at Lucasfilm posting this about billionaires, he's not just talking about his hated Elon Musk, he's talking about George Lucas. And then, of course, the advent of this See You Next Tuesday, and her mean-spirited, hateful, terribly written, cheaply made Acolyte. And what I find funny in watching all this, it's like all this shit that we have been complaining about since 2016 suddenly came to light and suddenly made sense to Jon Campea. Okay. And again, he's taken the tack, well, it's not really the elements of the story, it's how the story is written. No, fucker, it's the elements of the story. It's not only how it was written, poorly, it's the lesbian witches, and where the fuck did the kids come from? I mean, he specifically says the Force didn't have anything to do with it. The Force is the thread in this garbage, dumbass. Okay, I'm going to call him out for not being correct in his assessment at how bad this is, okay? He's angry about how it looks, how it's written, etc., the acting, etc. He doesn't dare poke fun at the woke shit. And the woke shit is a fuck you to George Lucas. And look, Jon Campea is one of these people who hates the prequel trilogy. And he hates George Lucas for making it. Okay, this is why he will never go after the woke story elements. And of course, he wants to be invited to cocktail parties and be relevant as a go-to guy for people in Hollywood. All right, just like Dan Snyder does. Or Jeff Snyder. Okay, that's why he won't go. That's why Matt Bellany won't say it. Okay, that's why he won't go after Kathleen Kennedy beyond, well, she's implying she's incompetent. Just say it. We have, and don't yell at fans retaliating at people like Pablo fucking Hidalgo for calling us isphobes and misogynists when we're not. The fans don't like it. Okay?
Is there a problem, people?
No problem at all, Mrs. Kennedy.
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Yes, Miss Kennedy, some of the execs are just expressing that maybe...
Well, that maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones! Put a chick in it and make her name it gay! Put a diverse woman in it, make it same!
But, Mrs. Kennedy, Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby deer, put a chick in it, make her gay!
Linguine and clam sauce.
Excuse me, I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay?
Yes, the chef was a little confused what you meant by that.
It means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking gay! And I want it lame!
What an odd combination of odors. Smells like a fish died and all the other fish sent flowers.
I agree. Well, I've been doing a little digging. I've been finding out you've been holding out on me.
And I'm very sorry about that.
Well, why didn't you tell me that's where Maris's money came from?
It's never easy. Maris's money?
Yeah. I mean, you told me that Maris's family money came from timber?
It did. It did come from timber.
Oh, that's what you really think?
Well, of course, it's true.
And that's what all of Maris's friends think, too? All those country club snobs who would kill for a good piece of dirt on someone?
What are you talking about? If her family money didn't come from timber, where did it come from? Urinal cakes?
I don't believe this. All these years.
The doyenne of Seattle's elite, looking down her nose at everyone in sight. She owes it all to this. She's managed to have her urinal cake and eat it, too.
As I think we now have what's known...
You want to deliver yourself, may I?
Absolutely.
Hello, Marta. Like to speak to Maris. Oh, why not? Ah. She's in the final level of her guru's serenity training, the week-long vow of silence. Day 6. No, Marta, that's all right. She doesn't have to come to the phone. Just give her this message. I've flushed out her family secret. Hello, Maris.
And why would they go this low? Well, my opinion has always been, and I think it's a pretty well-informed one, activists should never, ever be creatives. A creative can have political states of mind. The Viennese secession movement was full of radical artists, but they were artists first. But when you start seeing the artists become an activist, becoming more self-aware than they need to be, Picasso, and to a lesser extent, Steven Spielberg, their artistic and creativity kind of falls off. So I always tell creatives, don't get involved with politics. Okay, Jon Campea again. So he's now joined the Christian Harloff gang of The Acolyte Sucks, out of story structure, etc. The look of it, the cinematography, etc. He's not going to come right out and say, just like Harloff, that the woke politics suck. All right, they're going to stand, as usual, strictly on the fence because the people that feed them stories, etc., and feed them information are woke a lot of the times, and they're not going to attack Leslie Headland unless they have to. It'd be one thing, for Campia to come out and say what he said, which is an improvement. Let me say, he's not, earning his Ryan Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy knee pads. However, if he went the full way and asked, why was Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant allowed anywhere near Star Wars, there might actually be, in my opinion at least, a degree of respect here. Okay. But, and I'm glad you at least noticed that this show sucks, okay? All right. But the next step is to start calling people out. And Fandom Wire did that, called Kathleen Kennedy out. Fandom Wire has no problem calling Leslie Headland out, okay, at all. They were encouraged by Disney's PR people to do that on behalf of Bob Iger. The fact that Campia has been encouraged to criticize this crap shows that perhaps maybe Disney itself reached out to him, as well as Christian Harloff and other, commenters that are used by Hollywood to say something negative about the Acolyte. And that's fine, but when you don't criticize the meat of the story, I'm sorry, you're going to get criticized back by me because you only went halfway. And the reason why people are really pissed off is not only the shallow things that you brought up, John. It's the fact of the matter, the meat of the story is terrible. And like The Last Jedi, is a fuck you to George Lucas, okay? And as people who grew up Star Wars, all right, it's an affront to us too, okay? And these fucking people know it. But from what I can tell, Jon Campea isn't on X. How dare Elon Musk be a billionaire from the sweat of his own brow? How dare he keep what he earned? How do you know he keeps what he earns? He doesn't sit there and tell everybody what charities he gives money to. And that's not the way you do it anyway. All right? Because the moment you start talking about, I gave money to this, and you start making the charity thing about you, is you're glorifying yourself. And you're getting all the kudos and praise that you want already, okay? You're not going to get it when you pass on, okay? Okay, you get what you got, my friend, in this life, but not in the next. And that's not how it works, okay? So that's the problem here, Okay? It's not enough. And for Christian Harloff to attack the fans that were basically fighting back against Pablo Hidalgo and the bullies at Lucasfilm, calling us isphobes and misogynists when at least 20% of us are women, it's like, what the fuck are you even talking about? All right? We have every right to retaliate. That's not toxic. I mean, one of these days, the people that started this shit, which was Lucasfilm, are going to have to be the ones to be called out by everybody. All right? Not just fans who retaliated. We had every fucking right to retaliate. Okay? And that's not toxic. That's natural human inclination to grab someone by the shirt front and say, what the fuck did you call me? Because we criticized something that is trash that you say you like. Okay? You know, attacking people's physical appearance, they've done that. Attacking people's age. Look, I've seen these fuckers go after Harrison Ford in an ageist way. But black pills have done it too. Okay? This world is disgusting because we've got people who hate the sequel trilogy, people who love it, attacking everybody who says, wait a minute. Okay? Then we got people like Jon Campea, who's strictly on the side of bashing the fans, suddenly rushing to say he hates the Acolyte. Not even for the reasons that you should hate it. Even though there's terrible filmmaking and blah, blah, blah. And then there's the meat of the story. And he won't dare touch that because he's afraid of pissing off the woke people. Okay. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.